everyone. This is Remleiz from 40k Theories, and welcome to this new episode of Adeptus Podcastus. No Tactica Imperialis this week. They're off celebrating their championship win from Podcastus last episode. But don't worry, I'm not alone, for joining me this episode are the cover teachers of Adeptus Podcastus, Snipe and Wib.
Hello, darlings. Oh, we missed it. We missed our substitute children. I don't know. That's okay. That sounds weird. Hi, it's nice to be back.
Yes, it is good.
Yeah, okay. Moving on. How's everyone doing?
Jesus Christ.
I'm doing okay. I'm cranky about the weather being too warm, but other than that, I'm doing very well, thank you. How are you?
It is very muggy today, isn't it?
It's grim. Yeah.
By the end of this recording session, I think every single room that this is being recorded in is going to be
Fumigated.
upsetting, shall we say.
That's the wrong word.
Yeah. And as a reminder to anyone overseas watching, we don't have air conditioning in this country.
Oh no, speaking
Unless
as...
you're like a big office block or a gym or something, but that's about it.
Speaking as an Australian who lives in the UK, if anyone who lives in a country like America or Australia or any other kind of very warm climate, shut up, you're not interesting, you're just being a kind of a dick. Because where I grew up and where you grew up, we have air conditioning everywhere, and the houses are built out of very, very breathable material, and everything is set up to keep you cool. England is set up to keep you as warm as possible and as dry as possible, because it is the most moist, cold place ever.
Or at least it used to be.
Yeah, it used to be, and every house is built like an oven, so yeah, no, and nowhere has aircon. You're a weirdo if you have an aircon unit. So, gonna get mad at you.
Because I actually looked in to see how much it would cost to get air conditioning installed in my house, and it was something like $7,000 or something, and I was like, no.
Maybe
you
not.
get one of those like little units, like you pop like the tube out the window, and just like my brother gave me his. Because he used to work from home in, like, the attic, and that was, like, used to get so hot, and it would potentially damage his computer components.
Oh, God, yeah.
So he had to go and buy one, and now he lives in a way better ventilated house, so he just gave us...
No, he just lives in a house... He just lives in a house so old and cold that it's
It's pretty magical.
It actually kind of works out.
Fair enough. So, in the news this week, I can't talk for whatever reason, I blame the heat and the humidity, but anyway... It's mostly stuff relating to the new edition of Horus Heresy, and I honestly can't remember if Neve and Aurelia talked about Saturnine last episode, so if they did, there's not much point going over it again, because I don't want to be retreading old ground, but if for whatever reason they didn't, then fuck it, we'll talk about it next episode just in case. But yes, it is a thing. And yes, I have egg on my face. They are Saturnine Terminators after all. The misconception became reality, even though Gathorpe himself turned around and said it's actually Nocturne pattern.
Yep.
But yeah.
Well, I'm always going to side with Gathorpe.
I'm not salty.
He's the goat, so...
I mean, on some level, I think there was... Enough people were saying that this was what Saturnine was, and because there wasn't a counterpoint...
They just turned around and said, fuck it.
Yeah, they just kind of said, fuck it. It's not to plug my own stuff, but it's similar to the Lamenter's Battle Cry thing I made a video on the other month.
Oh, yeah.
Because
the
it's
Lamenter's
like...
subreddit is still really mad at you, by the way. It's actually very funny.
But when there is a misconception, but there's nothing to like solidly counteract it, then it really latches on. So because you look at the original Jez Goodwin Terminator miniature, it's just called a Terminator. Like there's retroactive things kind of applied to it, but like it wasn't called anything. So any attempt to try and dissuade people from calling it Saturnine was always going to have a bit of an uphill battle. So I kind of understand why GW just went, whatever.
Yeah. But no, I'm not salty whatsoever. So, moving away from Saturnine, again, if we didn't talk about it last episode, well, the episode before Podcastus, we'll talk about the next one because, again, just in case, I don't want to retread everything, otherwise it'd be a bit redundant. So, instead, we'll talk about Skulls.
Skulls?
E-game
I love
premiere.
Skulls.
Yes, and a few things were revealed, including a Mastercrafted edition of Space Marine, which personally I feel was kind of pointless because like it still looks pretty good on even on modern systems, the original Space Marine.
Yeah.
But they did actually make some gameplay tweaks to bring it more in line with Space Marine 2. So you know what, I appreciate it. They actually did some effort in that regard. They didn't just do a straight up upscale or whatever.
Yeah.
Though some of the stranger things I noticed is that they've reskinned a lot of the orcs to give them like black armor instead of red.
Oh yeah, I saw that. So it kind of brings them. They're all just a bit more goth, or at least more modern goth. Because obviously, if it was a second edition goth, it'd be mostly red. But
True. But like in the game, was Grimskull ever stated to be like from what clan he was or anything?
I don't
Wasn't
they
he?
did.
That's the big mechy boy. No, what am I thinking? I'm thinking of the big.
I'm Boss Grimskull. Wow, I'm gonna punch Nemeroff in the face now.
Yeah, wasn't he in yellow?
No,
he was in red.
yeah, he was in like he had checks on him, but he had a lot of red on him.
Sorry.
It's almost like the game came out.
He was like.
It's almost like the game came out in 2011. So.
I'm looking at the reviews and it's pretty.
It's 2011 because it came out like the month before we got married. That's why I remember.
Because we bought it with our marriage money. It was so worth
Congratulations on your marriage. Go play Space Marine now.
Literally, not even joking.
Relationship goals, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, lots of people were under the assumption that he was like evil sons. But it's like, but it doesn't really make sense because he's not really riding around on a bike or a truck or a buggy or anything like that. He's very much on foot.
Yeah, I to be honest, I did always assume that he was a goth, but in that way that there's some that just don't really stick very strongly to the pure black and white.
Yeah.
Well, just any orcs don't necessarily 100% stick to the traditional colour scheme, Some of them will just do something a bit different. I just kind of assumed that.
Yeah. I mean, I know Gaijin Gumba, Gimgam Glitzdacker, he got really pissed off when they revealed it. I was like, what have they done to my boy?
I mean, it does look slightly less interesting because there's just a little less colour on him. So it's like, yeah, okay.
Yeah. But yeah, they've redone the gameplay to bring it more in line with Space Marine 2. So I think that'd be better in regards to you just jumping from between game to game, like it's the same controls and everything. So that's a good thing. I appreciate that, but I just wish they kind of did a bit more with like I don't know, maybe the graphics, like maybe like redo. But I guess probably asking a bit too much.
I mean, the thing is,
a lazy upscale.
Yeah, the thing is, like the game was made at a time where like. To make it
was PS3 generation, wasn't it? So.
Yeah, to make it look better is gonna involve like an overhaul that you're gonna take so much work, but the differences are gonna be marginal. It's not that there isn't improvements to be made, obviously, but like it would take so much work to make it look 10% better. It's not like when you remake like a PS1 game and just by making it at like modern resolutions, it already looks better. It's like, yeah, you could remake it, but like, why? You might as well just make it so it comes out on modern consoles. It's redundant on PC, obviously, because you can just run it at modern resolutions fine anyway, but,
Yeah. Speaking of redundant, Dawn of War is also getting a quote-unquote remaster, which it seems very underwhelming to the point, like, you're watching, it's like, all I'm seeing is that it's now upscaled. That's literally it.
Which you can
even with the point with like the intro cinematic, like the intro cinematic looks even worse than the original because it looks so compressed.
It's like, bring back the 1992 Space Hulk and then we'll fucking talk, okay? Not a moment
bring back
before.
Space Crusade.
Space Crusade. Oh, was it Space Crusade or Space Hulk?
No, Space Crusade during the late 80s, like on the Amiga or whatever it was.
Oh Jesus! Yeah. Oh.
Space Crusade. I think that's from like 1992 because Space Crusade came out in 1990. So, like the physical game came out in 1990.
I'm thinking of the one with Brother Flappy Mouth in it. I'm sure that's 92.
Oh,
Space Hulk.
that's the original Space Hulk. I think.
Yeah,
I want to say
remaster
94?
that one. We'll talk. I have no idea.
I'm gonna double check. It was 1992 for the MS-DOS version of Space Crusade, which also came out on the ZX Spectrum.
Yeah, yeah.
Interesting.
I didn't realise the Spectrum was still being supported back in 1992, to be honest.
Oh, a lot of those they had a weirdly long amount of support on them, just because it had such a big install base, so it made sense to kind of keep them going for a while. But yeah, I mean, I will say it will be nice to have Dawn of War actually run properly at 1080, because if I remember correctly, the first Dawn of War is locked at 4:3. So even if you are playing on a modern machine, it's got the black bars.
Widescreen would be nice, admittedly, yeah.
So having a 16:9 would be nice.
Speaking of cinematic, we're also getting a sequel to Rogue Trader in the form of Dark Heresy.
I wish I played. I mean, I can just play it, more of it, but I only played a little bit of Rogue Trader, and I did enjoy it. But I suffered from the issue of trying to play it like after coming off Baldur's Gate 3. So
oh god,
yeah, that's so unfair.
It felt like a bit of a downgrade, because obviously it wasn't made with that much money. So you don't get like the close-ups on characters when you're having cutscenes and things. And so I was like, okay, I need to like give a bit of time so I'm not unfairly comparing this to a game that had a lot more resources behind it.
I kind of liken it to the whole Narcosis, I think it was, which is an underwater first-person horror game that was coming out, and it looked really good and it was really spooky. And then Soma came out and just it ruined everything about Narcosis, because it was like Narcosis was incredible, and then Soma was just like, oh, but this is exactly what it looks like underwater, and it's the scariest thing ever, and blah blah blah, which just made you feel terrible for them.
We're also getting a sequel to Boltgun called Boltgun 2, surprising no one.
I quite liked the typing of the dead thing they put out. I thought that was very fun.
We'll get to that one in a moment.
Okay.
But it's Boltgun 2, though. More boomer shooter action, and they've actually got blood crushers in this one, so that's always cool.
Crush my blood.
I'm intrigued to see if they'll learn from, because I think the biggest complaint people had about Boltgun 1, and it's my complaint about it, is that, I guess it is, if not necessarily too long, but just it sort of like ran out.
Starts to drag after a while.
Yeah, it starts to drag because it's good, but it doesn't really go anywhere after a certain point. So you just kind of doing the same stuff over and over again.
I do think
it's good. But,
it was wonderful to see the weird alien cactus back. That was incredible. And I think they overdid the sassy nurgling. I think that should have been way rarer. And I do feel that they brought in all of the special, all of the things that you shoot way too early, and it did get to be a bit of a slog. As fun as it was, it did kind of drag.
Do you know, I still wish that the titular Boltgun itself was modelled after the second edition one to proper hammer home the whole nostalgia retro look of the game.
Yeah.
Even down to the logo, use the old second edition logo. That should have gone all the way.
Oh yeah, fully commit. Yeah.
That would have been fun, but I imagine they would probably have had a thing from Games Workshop's like branding department going like, you need to be up, because
they did use some second edition sculpts for some of the enemies, like the exalted flamer, for example, the demon. That was a second edition model.
Oh yeah,
the one with the bird head.
Yeah.
So they were able to do some of them. So I just wish they kind of properly commit to the whole retro gimmick, But yes, as you mentioned earlier, Snipe, Words of Vengeance, the Typing of the Dead clone. Mm-hmm. It's really fun.
What really throws me is that things like, there's like a bunch of like just 40k unit, not like Exterminatus, that's an easy one to spell, but like some fucking string of Latin, and I'm like, dude! This is unfair.
I appreciate the fact they actually managed to slip a couple of community memes in there. Like, the whole, like, thin your paints.
I have not encountered that at all. I need to play more of it, honestly.
Yeah, it's a fun little thing. And like, I
I'm just a faster typist than Wib is, just saying.
I mean, this is true, but this is not this is not a mystery.
I just needed to be validated and feel cool.
You're very good at typing.
But yeah, no,
Snipe.
it's what definitely on the I would not have before it came out. If you'd have asked me if this was a game that could exist, I would have been like, well, no, obviously that's ridiculous. A Typing of the Dead clone? What?
Okay, but Typing of the Dead was so cool, and so
Yeah,
is probably
yeah.
why I'm a faster typer than you are right now. I played that game to death as a kid.
I did not actually play much Typing of the Dead, but I was an obsessive player of the original House of the Dead because I used to go to it was Megazone, which was Laser Quest laser tag thing. It's in Derby.
Yeah.
And I used to go there a lot when I was in my mid-teens, and they had a House of the Dead machine there, and so me and my mate used to play that all the time.
I'm gonna gatekeep. It's only cool if it's House of the Dead 3 where you get shotguns.
House of the Dead 4 when you get the Uzis.
Honestly, I don't.
Shotguns are more my speed, I think.
Honestly, those
just dual
they're
wield.
cool.
Just to play 2-player game by yourself, just dual wield. You feel like
They are
badass.
cool as an arcade machine, but the actual games they ramp up the difficulty so much that they're just there to chew through your money. Whereas
that's what it is.
The first game felt like a little bit more fair for an arcade game. I felt anyway, like that one. That one, once you knew what you were doing, you could beat the game without spending a fortune. Whereas the latter ones always felt like whenever I tried them, it was like, oh, okay, well, people have run out of money before the end of the first level. Like, okay. And I know I'm not just bad at House of the Dead because I've beaten the first one out of the arcade, so
Oh yeah, I'd say fuck the magician fight, But for those interested, Words of Vengeance is currently available for free, so you got no excuse not to play it unless you got a shit computer.
Yeah, definitely go play it. Go have a bit of fun. It's adorable. It's great. I love it.
And then if you enjoy it, there's 2 different Typing of the Dead games to go check out, which are basically the same idea.
Indeed. We're also getting a sequel to Mechanicus.
There's more Wib speed, I think.
Yeah. I think the thing that interested so many people in this game is the fact that the Leagues of Votan are involved.
Yeah, that's
cool.
really interesting to see because there's definitely a thing with Games Workshop's licensed games that there's a lot of things that just don't end up showing up in games for quite a while.
Well,
it took a while before there was anything with Stormcast. It took a while for those to actually show up. So seeing Votan show up, it feels a little bit like, oh, okay, I wasn't expecting to see those in games for another 5 years.
And speaking of games, we're also getting a mobile game called Supremacy, but it's a mobile game, so fuck it. We're also getting a 40k crossover pack for the game Rust, which is basically going to be a Deathcore of Krieg DLC pack.
Rust, the survival game that makes you start bald and naked, and your microphone is always on, so you get harassed by creepy dudes. And now they're going to be dressed as the Deathcore of Krieg. This is fucking nightmare fuel. Thanks, Games Workshop. I don't need that.
And Rust is 12 years old.
Yeah. What the... I mean, cool, but what? I mean, okay, don't
Very
have
strange.
a Fortnite pack. I'm going to be a super grumpy old person right now. But, please, don't... If I see Titus in Fortnite, I'm gonna die.
You mean you don't want to see Titus doing the floss dance?
Okay, I'd never said that, but I just don't want it to be in Fortnite, you know what I mean? It's just, God almighty.
Well, that is deeply surreal. I wouldn't have expected that.
I prefer Rust to Fortnite, but Jesus Christ.
The game Speed Freaks is finally leaving open access and should be out now, I believe. I played the early access. It's actually pretty fun, I thought.
Yeah, haven't they removed the microtransactions from it as well? Now it's going full release.
I'm hoping so.
I don't know, to be honest.
I vaguely remember getting an email about that because I think it's changing publishers or something. As it moves in, there was some shenanigans going on with it. I try and played it for a bit, and I didn't really get on with it. But I think it's because I was bad at it.
I was bad as well, but I just drive around like an idiot.
Yes. I appreciate the vibe. If I don't get on with the game itself, you know.
God, it just makes me wish like we actually got that Gorka Morka game back in the Dreamcast days.
It would have been interesting. It would have been interesting to see.
It would have been almost as interesting as the Blood Quest movie that they were working on and then just gave up on. Blood Quest being that old Warhammer monthly comic. God. I think someone actually still has the trailer online. It's like something like 17 years old or something, that trailer.
Coming soon. Liar.
It'd be great if they just came out with it out of nowhere and just say, "Oh yeah, we weren't joking."
So funny. I'm just, oh yeah, by the way, whatever.
If they do, they have Randy Orton in the trailers, like out of nowhere, you know.
Oh god, yeah.
I mean, they've got Warhammer Plus, so they they do the like Hammer and Bolter and all the other like animated stuff. So they could
possibly, yeah.
They could make good on the promise after all these years.
They could. We're also getting DLC for Tacticus for Custodians, but I think that's also a mobile game, so fuck it. Same with Battle Sector. I think that's also a mobile game. Fuck it.
Battle Sector's not. That's available on PCs and stuff.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You've got me thinking about Randy Orton now.
I've never got around to playing it.
Fair enough. And there's some stuff for Gladius, and I don't know, some of the artwork for it seems questionable.
Like those look, slightly off.
Yeah, yeah. It looks
I am
like
violently upset by the orc. I don't like it. It's weird.
The bigger question is, why is Necron smiling?
He's just life's been good to him. Don't be mean.
But yeah, it just seems a bit.
I think because the lighting is different on every drawing, because obviously these are four like solidified designs that they've just photoshopped into one scene, so that's why the lighting's fucked. But I'm like, it's a bit strange.
Yeah,
and the Marine is definitely a bit sus on the
helmet. The face looks wrong.
It looks. Yeah, I hate that we're in this situation where you're sitting there going, is this AI, is it not?
Is it AI?
I hate it so much.
The problem nowadays is you get AI, like, upscaling. So it's while the image can be original, AI comes in and fucking ruins it and weirds it up. It's like there's a Terminator 2 upscale that's done with AI, and it like changes the direction of characters' eyes and stuff, and I'm like, thank you. Don't bring it that anywhere near me, I'll die.
They'll probably use AI to get rid of Robert Patrick's dick again, won't they? So
you know what? Yeah, give me that, and then maybe I'll consider AI being okay. I mean, I won't. But I'm saying I might do.
AI upscale.
They changed the direction of Robert Patrick's dick.
They put his balls on top of his dick. Oh god, that would be so funny. Or they just turn it into a foot. Like, he has 3 feet, which he has 3 arms in that movie at one point, so that wouldn't be totally out of the question.
Yeah.
I think the joke snub is that he'd have 3 legs, but anyway, moving on.
Okay, how did I... Oh, okay, Remleiz, you fucking... Okay, you snookered me there, mate. Nice one.
You're welcome. Again, it's mostly Saturnine stuff. We did get a new treeman for Blood Bowl, who, if I recall correctly, costed about 50 quid.
Oh.
Because I vaguely recall Jewel Knight Jess posting it on social media. Like she was going to buy it, and it's like, 50 quid, oh, fuck off.
Oh, shit, I remember her. Yeah, no. Ugh. I mean, it's pretty, but it ain't that pretty.
I think it might be because it's Forge World resin, and a lot of the pieces look very, very spindly. So it might just be a pain in the ass
having
too.
Flashbacks to a Deldar I put together once. I literally dropped her. It was like a foot. I was sitting on the couch, and she has like a spear, and I dropped her onto my knee, and her fucking staff just snapped, and I was like, bro.
This was back in the early days of Finecast.
Finecast. Yeah, so I'm still kind of like, if I see a spindly thing, I'm like, no, give me panels, give me armor, give me chunky little... No, that sounds gross. Chunky little lads. There we go. Small men? I'm digging a hole.
Yes, you are.
And if you fill a hole full of water, it becomes a well. And speaking of water, going to Age of Sigmar briefly.
Oh no.
Yes, this new Oracle of the Abyss, which looks pretty awesome.
Why does he have grippies out? They're very well painted grippies, but no.
Well, you're not going to swim with shoes, are you, Snipe? Who swims with shoes on?
He could have aqua shoes. We weren't allowed to swim in the ocean when I was growing up without aqua shoes.
That's because everything in the ocean in Australia will kill you.
Literally, some of the sand will as well, but that's beside the point.
I like all of their fish friends. You can't see them super good in the big shot, but there's a close-up shot of them, and there's one that's an obviously anglerfish thing. One of them's obviously based on like a gulper eel.
Mm.
But Dopefish lives.
Dopefish lives indeed.
I love it.
And
he does. I love him.
To go with Dopefish, you've also got the Incarnate of the Abyss, which looks frankly badass.
It looks incredible It looks incredible in that way that I look at that and go, well, that looks great. Would look like pure dog shit if I painted it.
Mm. Yeah, it reminds me. There's a WoW dungeon from what was it? The pirate one. It was one of the more recent ones, like 2 or 3 ago, where you would fight Hela on a sinking boat. It was really cool, and it just reminds me of that in a very complimentary way, because that was actually a pretty cool kind of cinematic kind of fight. So
was that the one with the Cowboy?
I do like it.
Whatever it's called.
I'm not sure.
Those anglerfish murlocs.
Yes, I think that might have been it. Oh no, what was it? It was around where Jenna Proudmoore's from.
Lordaeron.
No, it starts with a K.
Oh, yeah, Admiral Proudmoore and all that. Yeah, God, yeah.
Admiral Proudmoore. Like you follow her family and stuff, and you go around the Kultirans. There we go. And yeah, it was one of those. I can't remember what the expansion was called. I'm sure someone's screaming at me in the comments, but that's okay.
The Kultirans were like, it's where you could make...
what if we had thick dudes?
Yeah, they were technically a different species, but they were just thick humans.
I liked that. I liked the thick humans. I thought they were awesome. They were very fun.
I don't know why this Incarnate
they could also
of
be
the
druids,
Deep,
which was very cool.
Yeah. I looking at the shape of how the head goes onto the back part of it. Every time I look at it, I think of the antagonist monster from Godzilla 2000, Augur.
Oh yeah. Yeah, the one that's basically like a thick version of 98 TriStar Godzilla.
Yeah.
Oh, Augur! I'm remembering that one from the video game.
Augur was in a couple of the...
It was in one of the fighting games? I can't remember.
Yeah, it was definitely in Unleashed.
You can destroy all monsters melee, I know that.
Yeah, the three, that's Godzilla Save the Earth and Unleashed all kind of blend together in my head a bit, because they're all kind of the same game.
Save the Earth's the best one, though.
I do remember having a soft spot for it. I don't remember why, but I do remember having a soft spot. Although Unleashed had Biolante in it, so automatically
I
think only in the Wii version. I think.
Yes, that's the one I had. So
yeah.
And you had the cool version of Gigan in that one as well.
Whereas
the other one had the
double
chainsaw
Gigan,
as opposed to the fat Gigan from the 60s.
Oh, don't body shame him. He's my husband.
He's just a weird chicken man.
He's a chicken robot man, and I love him. He's beautiful.
And I kind of like how this is not... no one listening to this cares about this opinion, but I liked how in Final Wars they made him look like a cool fucking Cenobite. But also he he comes back upgraded with fucking chainsaws, but he also gets his shit rocked every time.
I bought you the Final Wars Gigan. I bought you a little toy.
Yeah, I've got a vinyl figure of him. Yeah.
Oh no! I was googling Final Wars Gigan, and someone made it fucking.
Oh. Oh, yeah, no. There's some people who have feeling... when I said it was kind of Cenobite coded, I wasn't joking.
Yeah.
So moving swiftly on.
Yes, please. Please.
We're getting a new iteration of someone who only just got recently named, Captain Centos, who was the anniversary 100 Storm miniature based off the old 2nd edition Captain with Terminator Honors mini.
Which is admittedly an all-timer mini, so
absolutely.
I don't blame anyone, because it's one of those, there's some of the 2nd edition Marines, that sort of like the early Mark 7 Jess Goodwin ones, some of them they don't look right next to well, so I say modern Marines, but next to the later like plastic like firstborn ones. They don't quite look right. But that one particular mini still looked good.
It was times
until like, I mean, I've got one in one of my armies, and like honestly, like even next to like more modern miniatures, it still holds up. And you can't say much that about many models from the early 90s.
Oh, no. I will say, I think they did a good job of interpreting a lot of the older kind of stuff into more newer coded kind of like design elements and things like that. Although I do miss the ultra written along the gun. I thought that was very cool.
Yeah, I would say like I kind of prefer the version from 2016. It just seems a bit more of a faithful recreation of the model. Like, it didn't even need the tactical rock, for instance.
Yeah, this looks like it could have just been like a project, like someone did a kit bash. Like, and I'm not saying that in a nasty way. I'm just saying that this looks like something someone would make and go, "Hey, I made it in the style of this." It's kind of inspired by it. Whereas the other one, like you say, Ram, was just more of a 1-1.
I mean, I suppose the thing is, if they're going to do, if they were going to remake it again, they've already done a completely faithful remake, so there's sort of no point in doing it again, but Primaris. They might as well give it a bit of flair. And one of the downsides of the original is that because it is very flat, it's a fairly basic sort of positioning, whereas putting him on the rock gives a little bit more flair to the pose.
And the fact that he's got a bit of waist tilt and these kind of like, again, it's a very much like flat kind of looking thing because it's just easier to press. But...
Yeah, the original mini is made very much, and I say these things as someone who collects and adores these old miniatures, to be clear. Like, it's very much in the mould of what the limitations of the time meant, would necessitate. So he's flat. He's very, very flat as a piece. Whereas the modern ones, being made of plastic and multi-part, don't need to do that. So they can have a bit more flair, a bit more angling to how the pose works. So it gives it a bit more of a natural kind of pose. So
I will say, I do love the one arm directly upright in the air and then the other one holding out a sword or a gun, like completely bolt straight. It's such a classic pose.
The classic pose,
in miniatures and the artwork at the time. That was just the coolest pose. Because it was the most dynamic one you could do pretty easily.
And at least two things. One, he's not another lieutenant.
Yeah.
So it's not a Primaris lieutenant. And two, he's because he's a captain, they've been forced to go, oh shit, we can't actually have him be another second company captain. Oh, okay.
Make him third. Fuck him.
I always forget which one the red rims are. I can never remember the colours. Third, yeah. So we've got a third one. Okay, good.
Yellow? Yeah.
Yeah, second used to be yellow and then they made it gold. So.
Yeah, because I think it's like 8 is now yellow or something.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
I'm too old for all this new stuff that's been going on for decades.
Again, I have not played a Space Marine army that uses the traditional company markers for so long that I which colour means what has entirely disappeared from my brain. Apart from white being first company, that's the only one I remember.
Okay, so first company's white, second company's gold, third's red, fourth's green, fifth is brown or black, probably black I think it's supposed to be. Sixth is orange, seventh's purple, eighth's grey, ninth's light blue, and 10th's dark blue.
Okay.
I swear one was yellow, just plain yellow as well, I swear.
I think it's one of those. I always assumed it was that second company is still technically yellow. It's just the ultras have it as gold, largely because that's it just looks good on blue miniatures. So.
And you know what looks good with red miniatures? Brass, which leads us to the Khorne Deathbringer for Age of Sigmar. How's that for a segue?
Hey, nice.
Beautiful.
Yeah, just like this model.
What a handsome boy.
I like his helmet's like very blank and expressionless.
I like it, yeah. It's like with my World Eaters, with all of the ones without helmets on, I've always picked the really placid faces. Because I'm different, you know. I like different.
I like how this pose is just very simple as well. Like it conveys like just like intimidation. Like, it doesn't need to be screaming. It's just like I'm looking at you, I'm gonna kill you kind of look.
Yeah, he's very comfortable in his stance, which is quite. Oh god, I just noticed the oxidized kind of bolts and stuff. That's such a fun little detail.
The verdigris.
The verdigris, but sure. I just needed to annoy someone. I'm sorry.
I keep thinking puke, but I don't know. That's ambergris.
I do appreciate that it's a nice like character model, but it doesn't look like it's going to get bits of it caught on your sleeve constantly and going to snap off. It looks like a nice solid miniature that might survive getting knocked off a table, which I always appreciate.
You love knocking things off the table. You're like a cat. It's crazy.
I also appreciate, because I think there's like it was the sort of early era of like the Khorne 8 stuff made specifically for Age of Sigmar that I felt it looked a bit too much like it was borrowing from the World Eaters like general aesthetic.
Like with the helmets and that, yeah.
Yeah, they felt a little bit too much like these are just Marines, but in Chaos Marines, but in Age of Sigmar. Whereas this is got a bit more of a distinct of its own aesthetic. So I should probably check in with the with the Khorne 8 minis again, because I've not looked at them in a while. So maybe they have while I've not been looking, actually refined them a bit.
Well, there is also a Battle Force coming out as well, which is going to be focusing pretty much on Fleshhounds and like the Fleshhound themed Warcry band as well.
That is a lot of Fleshhounds.
And also comes with Karanak as well.
Yes.
But I do love that Warcry band, though. The Fleshhound themed war band. Basically, it's basically a bunch of Chaos furries, essentially, with their fursuits.
And I love it.
Yeah, no,
I'm so angry because I don't have fans in there. Oh, I like that lady behind the main guy. She's got like a sickle. Me visualizing in the mirror the one I'm trying to be. Oh, so cool.
Just not a bicycle.
Yeah, no. It's a very interesting. I'm a big fan of armies themed around very stupid ideas. So just deciding that you want to go all puppies.
Complimentary. I'm not rubbing you too hard, honey.
But yeah, so going all puppies, I'm like, yep, good. That's what we're going to do. Go, great.
I mean, I would never just specialise with one unit. I think that would be very silly. I'm still bitter because give me back my Dreadnought fucking armies. Games Workshop, you bastards. I'm so fucking bitter. I know I can still have it, and it's just not as good as it was, so shut up.
You just can't have as many venerable Dreadnoughts as you used to, and it's upsetting to you.
Yeah, and I feel that this is a direct attack on me personally, and I don't care about game balance because I found it fun, so meh.
Yeah.
That's my statement on the matter.
Also, apparently today is the 30th anniversary of Warhammer Quest. The old
shit.
Little RPG-ish type game, dungeon crawler.
Oh my god, that looks like it's 30 years old. That's beautiful.
Yeah, that's one of the ones we've never played, actually, because we've played...
it's just Hero Quest, isn't it? Because I can tell by the best thing about Warhammer Quest is the doors.
It's part of that lineage, shall we say. But it is its own thing.
I always find it weird, like, the characters you could play as, like, your party or whatever. You have things like, Imperial Noble, Dwarf Trollslayer, Wood Elf War Dancer, like Witch Hunter, High Elf Noble, like Warrior Priest, Bretonian Questing Knight, and a Chaos Warrior. Just rounding there. So, hi, guys.
As it should be.
Look, it works on, like, Mario Kart rules. You invite your villains around to do, like, or Mario Tennis. It's Mario rules, is what I'm saying.
You may have tried to kill and like, marry my girlfriend, but also, I'm going to fucking play badminton with you, and you can't stop me.
Well,
it's the thing of like, oh yeah, you know how hard it is to find like a group to play D&D with sometimes?
You know how hard
like...
it is to make friends in your 30s, Wib? Yeah, I'm going to play badminton with someone who keeps kidnapping you and trying to marry you. Yeah, okay, we're buddies now.
Hey man, if that's how that's the only way to get a game, I understand.
Yeah, sometimes you just got to do things like that. That's just sending me. It's reminding me of Death Trap Dungeon. That classic. I saw because Josh Strife Hayes, he did a video on the PlayStation game, which I remember playing so much of as a kid, and not realizing that like Ian Livingstone and fucking
Steve
everyone, and all those other people, like doing that, and just just that kind of level of just we'll put this lady in string, and we'll put this very Dorito-shaped man in also string, but in a weirdo manner, usually. Strange, but yeah.
I remember playing it and thinking, this is a good game, but it is very of its time.
God, yeah.
Well, speaking of Warhammer Quest, because I know you guys live relatively close to Warhammer World, generally speaking, but on the 6th of July...
They haven't found me in Bogman's attic yet.
On the 6th of July, Warhammer World is holding a Warhammer Quest Through the Years exhibition.
Oh.
So if you're down at Warhammer World on the 6th of July, feel free to check that out.
6th of July. Also, don't look for us. We're super shy.
You will not find us.
On a Sunday, god damn it.
You definitely won't find you on a Sunday. Is that fuck it, Sunday?
I know. Who wants to travel to Nottingham? That was a joke before anyone gets mad at me. No one would ever travel.
It's Nottingham. It's okay.
They don't have the internet.
We live in we live in Derby. We can throw shade at Nottingham. It's almost expected.
Yeah, it's encouraged even.
Looking at bright side, at least it's not Newark. The only town in this country that adds an anagram of wanker. So
that's pretty good.
That's secretly why Citadel had to move away from there.
Oh, there you go.
That makes sense.
And I think that pretty much covers most of the news. Again, most of it is just mainly focusing on like Horus Heresy, and I generally don't know if Neve and Aurelia covered
over it. It was like
episode.
10,000 years ago. We get it.
Oh, but there is actually one rumor engine I do want to bring your attention to.
Oh yes?
There's one involving a claw. Because as we pointed out a few episodes ago, when they did like this massive review of like future codices, like the codex roadmap and all that, there was one like, all of these and more, and the and more one was a silhouette of a space marine, obviously, but we figured out it was actually of a specific piece of art from the first founding book of a Raven Guard, which implies that Raven Guard are going to get a codex. I forgot to post the thing in the wrong chat. There you go. There's the claw. It makes me think this is going to be a new Raven Guard model, just because they like to use lightning claws. So,
they love them. That would be cool.
Some people are saying, "Oh, it's going to be Korax." I was like, "Please no more Primarchs." We've just had Lion come back and they've done nothing with him.
Yeah, I was going to say they've got two of them and they don't know what to do with them. So
they know what to do with Gilliman, because Gilliman's actually done shit. Lion just came here, punched Angron once, and that was it.
I mean,
in fairness, the Lion came back and was just like, "Oh, hey, you've got two Loyalist Primarch minis to pick from. One of them looks amazing. The other one is fine." So, Lion kind of did all he needed to, which was to just look the coolest.
To be fair, he looks like all... Does he have 3 swappable heads? So he's got the big fancy...
Oh, he's got like 4, I think.
3 or 4. He's got like the hood, he's got the bear one, and he's got the helmet. And if I
he's got
picked him up...
helmet and Charles Dance.
Yeah.
I would not know which one to use, because they're all so cool.
Yeah, he's barehead with hood, helmet with the wings, and helmet with a hood on it as well. So, and yes, he does look like Charles
powerful.
Dance, yes.
Maybe that's why they actually modelled Lion after Charles Dance, because House Lannister, their symbol's the lion.
Yeah.
Who what by what
But
right
yeah,
does the wolf judge the lion? Because he doesn't like Russ. So there you go.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure someone's going to fit that into a book somewhere. That one line is a reference. Like, see what we did there.
Mm-hmm. And then
I feel
then the lion's going to get shot on a toilet. Very normal stuff.
That
would be so funny. Black Library, you have the ability to do the funniest fucking thing right now.
Do Primarchs even need to go to the toilet?
I fucking hope so. Well, so I had an argument with someone like 10, 15 years ago on DACA about this. Someone was like, actually, they...
Primarch poop.
Don't do that. Don't do that. It's going to be kink artwork. It's going to be weird. But no, it was like, oh no, their system is so advanced and awesome that it just gets reconstituted through their skin and everything. And I'm like, that's disgusting. Primarchs poop through their skin. They're quiet from MGS5, but it's poop. Okay, cool. Yeah, let's do that, shall we?
On the plus side, at least it's not going to be as weird as that one massive debate in the Mass Effect community about when someone tried to figure out how Tally's sweat would taste or something weird, and actually had a whole bunch of scientific diagrams. Actually used proper science to determine what it would be like, and people were like, stop!
See, that's when you need to fucking reel in the horny autism as hard as you can, because you need to stop that if that's what you're doing. I am going to go and dig a hole and bury myself. That's the worst thing I've ever heard. Thank you, Rem.
There were so many opportunities at which that person could have stopped, and yet they chose to continue, and that is...
They could have,
deleterious to all mankind.
They could have gone and had a nice hot cup of coffee. They could have read a book. But no, that's what we're doing. Cool. Ram, don't post. I don't want... No.
I'm not reading that. I know that I don't need to know this. It would be not good for my mental health.
I'm cancelling you.
I just want to say, I'm just impressed by they're actually using full-on actual chemistry to work the shit out. It's in one sense, you have to be impressed with their dedication, but at the same time, it's dude, that's weird.
That's like me trying to mathematically prove why Robert Patrick's balls should be in the Terminator 2 movie, which I have done, but I've never admitted publicly because I know it is shameful. So,
it must be really hard to do all these chemical diagrams with a raging hard-on.
With one-handed? Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Do you know the thing is, they actually referenced this in Mass Effect 3.
No, don't! Oh, Mass Effect 3, you bastards. Also, I have a bone to pick with Mass Effect 3. I'm still mad at Mass Effect 3 for not letting me, romance James Vega in, a sexy, consensual way. It was horrible. I was so mad about it.
Mm.
You literally put the Doomslayer in front of me, and, you won't let me date him? How dare you? Actually, how dare you? Worst game series. I am joking, in case anyone thinks I'm not.
Where's our option to romance Rex?
Okay,
exactly.
I also would want to do that. And, why couldn't I romance Morden? Because I know, you talk to him at one point in Mass Effect 2 and he's like, oh, I'm flattered. No, thanks. But if I wanted to, bone down with a human, I would definitely come to you first. And I was like, oh, thank you. That's cool.
Is it as weird as, in Mass Effect 2 when he turns around and said, I'm trying to figure out how we got this outbreak of this one STD that originates from Varyn.
Oh, God. Yeah, and it's implications unpleasant.
Yes.
Oh, God.
I am a very model of a scientist-salarian.
Scientist-salarian. I've studied species Turian. Sorry, and...
Batarian.
Yep, that one. Oh, I need to play those games again, dude. They're so good. Ugh. I like it how the entire thing ends with him just staring at Shepard, and then he just goes... And then the subject completely changes. So good.
Yes. Which could just be down to the slightly awkward Mass Effect dialogue trees, but it works in that instance.
I think it worked in that, yeah.
Yes. The slightly awkward is just all these tangents, but hey.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm tired of talking about this now. Let's talk about this.
I'm tired of talking about Gilbert and Sullivan. Let's talk about having sex with Varyn.
Let's not.
Okay. I should go.
But yes, we've also had the Year of Chaos roundup as well, because I know a few certain people are saying it's not been the Year of Chaos. You know who you are. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. We love you, really. But basically, this Games Workshop turned around and saying, no, it has been actually, because, you know, we had these Chaos Space Marine Heresies, and we had Skaven, and we had Skaven, and we had that bunch of Bloodletter cosplayers, and Fulgrim, and
Yep, that's the year of chaos. Wow.
Yep. Almost reminds me of, like, it's Happy October, everyone. Here's some Fiends of Slanesh.
Mm-hmm.
I think the only thing that was awkward was the release of Speed Freaks or something, wasn't it?
It was something like that. This is very much. It's one of those things where whenever GW does one of these things, I don't know. I don't know if it's because I'm just old, but I am just like, okay, they're doing this. Whatever comes out, comes out. I don't put any investment into what they're saying when it comes to that kind of thing. It's like, okay, yeah, whatever. So I'm never disappointed by them in that regard. It's just like,
are
okay,
you?
Whatever.
I wanted to add some intrigue. I'm sorry.
No.
Okay.
Also, Games Workshop have actually put up a competition to win a Primarch.
Like a real one?
Yes.
They're going to genetically alter someone to be a Primarch, and they've grown them from nothing.
Volunteer as tribute.
Yeah.
Because that would be fucking so cool.
Yeah. You can win a person. That's what Games Workshop is doing. You wouldn't have thought that that would be what Games Workshop would go into next. But
literally 1984.
Yeah.
So you just remind me of the fact that they're doing a family-friendly animated comedy of Animal Farm.
Shit, I saw you post that and I was hoping it was just one of those fake AI, trailers.
No, it's real. It's real.
Oh. I can't wait for
the
horse to just be, just not even be in it. And that's okay, let's have a family-friendly, Disney version of Mice and Men, shall we? Let's fucking do that.
Schindler's
I
List
say
musical.
that, but oh my god. Make it like Mean Girls the musical, where Lenny and, what's the other guy's name?
Carl.
No, that's The Simpsons.
Yeah, do Mean Girls with Lenny and Carl be so much better.
Okay, it would actually. Yeah, no, that would be.
But I digress. All you got to do to win a Primarch is just sign up to the Games Workshop mailing list. That's pretty much it. One thing I do want to talk about briefly, because the other day, Games Workshop put up the pre-orders for the limited edition of Era of Ruin, the last Siege of Terra book.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and pre-orders went online, and then the site went down for 6 hours.
Yes, I heard about this.
Now, credit to Games Workshop. The reason why they basically took the site down for 6 hours is because the IT team saw in real time that scalper bots were basically trying to scalp all the copies immediately, despite the fact there was a queue system in place. So basically, they saw it happening in real time. They right, stop that immediately. So you know what? Credit to Games Workshop for doing that.
Genuinely, yeah.
Genuinely. So and they said they turned around. They actually put up a thing on their Facebook page saying we're not going to process any of those fraudulent orders. We're going to actually put up on pre-order properly at a later date. So I assume they're going to put in some additional safeguards of some sort, maybe like a capture or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a problem for a while with GW stuff, just scalpers just getting in on all that stuff. So, I mean, better late than never, and at least they're looking proactive in dealing with it. So that's good.
It's just annoying when you're the site's down for maintenance. It's okay, well, I have to stay here because I don't want to lose my place in the queue. And you're sitting there for 6 fucking hours. And if anyone took them, hoping to get the pre-order before I have to go to work, whatever, it's fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah. Just going back to that Blood Bowl Treeman, yeah, it is 50 quid.
Oof.
Jesus.
Which is still cheaper than the one of the Lord of the Rings Treemen, because Beachbone is £60 and 50 pence.
Ew.
Well, yikes.
Yeah.
Well, no one can ever accuse any Warhammer variant or whatever of being a affordable game.
First world problems and the like. Hey ho.
Yeah. In the grand scheme of things, whatever. But it still sucks.
Yeah, I still don't like it.
I want my little toy soldiers to be cheaper so I can have more of them that I can then not paint.
Shut up.
I'll tell you one thing, I do want them to be cheaper. I want the fucking codices to be cheaper because they're like 37 quid.
God, they're so
Yeah, they've
expensive.
got obscene.
Like, for comparison, if you compare it to like the old world arcane journals, the arcane journals, £16.50.
Ugh.
Like, less than half the price.
I mean, I know it's like it's not a good comparison because it's inflation and what have you. But like whenever I need to buy a codex, there's a little thing at the back of my mind that goes, the first codexes you bought were £8.
Don't swear at me, will you? Just don't do it.
Now, granted, those were early 3rd edition ones, so they were pretty small in all fairness, and they weren't full color. So you are getting a lot more, but also there's so much guff in a modern codex that's repeated from previous ones, and
the fact that they're putting
big
them
chunks
out so
of it
much
get
sooner,
and so much. Yeah, you have to buy one every 3 years.
Yeah, I
fact,
don't want that.
Yeah, and the fact that there's a bunch of the points value, or the points values are basically already changed by the time you actually get it in your goddamn hands.
Yeah,
I don't know. It means that it already feels like a bit of a bitter pill to spend that much on rulebooks so frequently, but then the little bits on top of how much they get tweaked after release, making them feel sort of redundant. It makes it a bitter pill to swallow, shall we say?
yeah.
It's like when video
to,
games. Sorry.
That's right. You carry on first.
I was saying it's like when video games. When the internet became way more accessible, and it was like, oh yeah, we can release a completely fucking botched game. We'll just do a day one patch. Who cares?
Yeah.
And I know it's not exactly the same, but it's a similar thing, and it's just like, okay. Because I remember when I got my, oh god, I can't even remember what edition it was, but it was a Space Force Codex, and it was literally the day it was released. They were like, by the way, here's a PDF you can just print out that you need to keep with you because we got all this.
It was
shit
the
wrong.
8th.
Yeah,
the
and I'm
8th
like,
edition one. They changed how the sagas worked before release. So foreign language ones got it in there because those were produced afterwards. But the ones, at least in the UK, I don't know if I presume the ones in the US from the exact same thing. But yeah, those ones all had basically rules that were obsolete on the day of release, which was a bit much. Yeah. And it's not the only time that's happened.
It's happened with Space Wolves and it happened with Custodies. I remember that at least.
Yeah.
Because the Custodian one was something like, it was out of date before it even went on pre-order.
Oh,
yeah.
So if you have a codex that's going to be out of date before it even goes on pre-order, you might as well just stop printing it, just make the changes and reprint it, and then just get that version out instead. I know it may not be viable in terms of cost and efficiency or not, but it just.
But Jesus Christ.
My stance has been with Games Workshop for a while of that every single bit of rules that is put out could do with being in the oven for at least 2 more months.
Yeah.
And I feel like, because then these situations are, it's not that they're not going to happen, because there's mistakes in old codexes as well, don't get me wrong. Half of our career was based on this.
There's certain mistakes that come from when they're trying to get from writing, balancing, doing all the fluff and all the art and all the layouts and everything to the printing and the distribution and the confirmation of sales within a few years, which means that you are going to fuck up a lot.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, great, you get to go charge nearly 40 quid for a book, but the problem is customer satisfaction is going to be lower because you're trying to push these out so quickly, you can't check them better. But I digress.
Yeah, because I remember in 8th edition, codices were only something 25 quid.
Yeah, about 25.
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
With the exception of the Space Marine one was 30 quid, but that's only because of just how fucking massissive it was in comparison to the other codices.
It covered a lot, yeah.
That was peak, yeah.
And then you had the Harlequin one, which was £22 or something. No, the Harlequin one was £18, I think it was. It was really cheap.
Because it was a leaflet.
Because it was basically just a pamphlet.
Yeah.
I mean, which is fine. It harkens back to the 3rd edition ones where the half-sized mini code. Well, I'd say half-sized, they'd be smaller than that sometimes.
The baby ones, yeah.
the mini codex, like the supplements would all be £4. Like,
But here's the thing though, it had more stuff in it than the custodian one, but the custodian one was £25.
Yeah, but that had to have a lot of lore written in it.
They are big, shiny boys. Yep, thank you.
And in fairness, like, the 8th edition codices did have a lot of stuff in them. Like, I think the 8th edition ones became the new gold standard when it came to, like, what a codex should actually be composed of, I feel. Because it had the lore, it had the colour sections, it had, like, the rules, obviously. It had like, little tidbits splintered in places, sprinkled in.
Tits in it was great.
Depending on which army you picked, yep. But, like, these new ones, they just feel so bare bones. Because, like, even with, like, an army that arguably needed a lot of, exposition, as it were, like the Votan, there was so much that was so empty in comparison to, like, say, what you get with, like, another army back in the previous edition. Which is probably why, the High Cow's Oath novel had to spin its wheels as much as it did, because it had to establish so much lore that the codex wouldn't, essentially.
Yeah.
Like, in regards to, like, their culture and the society and shit like that, so...
Again, not to compare everything to a 3rd edition codex, but that kind of harkens back to the Dark Eldar one, where it comes out and you go, actually, it doesn't really tell us that much about them, and they're brand new. But again, that was a tiny codex, so...
They did fix that with the Necrons and the Tau, eventually, though, in fairness.
Yeah, well, the late-era 3rd edition ones were much more elaborate, and that's sort of the style they went into 4th with, and then
so they still weren't as good as the
morphed into the
2nd
5th ed style. And yeah.
The 2nd edition ones were the gold standard for a long time.
I mean, yeah, the sheer amount of just stuff in some of those is ridiculous.
For only £15.
I didn't know, because I that's all before my time. I started playing in like early 3rd, so like I never bought any of those, even though we've got them all now. But like I never got any of those at the time. So
They were all,
I didn't know they were just £15.
They were all £15 except for two. One being the Sisters of Battle Codex, which is about £12.
Was a bit
and
fair,
the Assassin's Codex, which was a £5. So
see, I never saw that.
The really skinny boy, wasn't it?
Yeah. It's like because it's thicker than the 3rd ed one. That every time I look into it, I find a new way some people got it. But
yeah, because the 3rd ed one I got free with an issue of White Dwarf.
Yeah, that's how I got it. And as far as I was aware, you could only get it from through that or through the Skulls thing. You could get it through that. But I remember when we made, because it's the first episode of Codex Compliant, and it was before. They were quite so fastidiously researched. And yes. I found out that in some places they were just sold normally, which they definitely weren't in my area, at least. I never saw one on shelves.
They might have just sold normally if they had like overstock or whatever, so...
Yeah, possibly, but I think it was like, I think I remember people saying like in Canada and things, like it was just sold normally because it didn't,
That makes sense.
But yeah, so it was available in some places. But yeah, the second ed one, that was just normal codex, just really tiny.
Well, there you go.
But
Tumbleweed.
Yes. Tumbleweed.
Tumbleweeds indeed. So have you guys been reading anything as of late, out of curiosity?
Yeah, but I ain't Ricky. You want me to tell you about it? I bought a book that was published originally in the 1920s called The Spirit of the Border by Zane Grey. It's a cowboy book.
I don't suppose it's going to be talking about the reason why there's no rats in Alberta.
Oh, no, it's because they were all too sexy, apparently. No, this is... I had to read this one because... there's a foreword, but before that, there's like a big thing of like going, this book is literally bullshit, dude. Do not listen to it. It is completely made up. Anything described in this book is completely historically inaccurate. There is no associations with any persons living or dead. So like, seriously, it's nonsense. And then like the first paragraph of the foreword by the author is, I'm not apologizing for how true this is because it's so true. And it's so true that I couldn't find any evidence, but trust me, bro, this is the evidence and you need to read it because it's so true. Oh my God. So I was like,
Vince Russo for a second.
Yeah, I'm like, well, I gotta read this shit then.
Like, bro, trust me, bro.
Bro, I read it. I read it on an AI generated Wikipedia. It's very cool.
Oh God no! God no! God no! God no!
Yeah.
Because it isn't just an AI generated Wikipedia. Isn't that just the Games Workshop Games Wiki?
Yeah, it's the Games Workshop wiki that if you look on, you will be able to find me be in like
Shouting
the discussion
at people.
part of it. Because it was like last year sometime. I was like, yeah, why is everything on here AI generated? And then the person that run the wiki is like, oh, if you spot an error, you could fix it. And I'm like, no.
Actually, how dare
you've
you?
AI generated like 5,000 pages. If you cared about this, you should remove those AI generated ones and let it fill up like naturally, because it's a cool idea for a wiki. Because all of the wikis related to Warhammer and Games Workshop are all in-universe based. Like they're all talking about the lore and anything about the company and its history, and things as physical releases is sometimes incidentally there, but it's never a priority. And so to have a wiki that does focus on that is actually a kind of cool idea. It made my job easier, certainly. And so the fact that the closest we've got is one that's all AI generated and is just wrong all over. Yeah. If you, that's my PSA. If you encounter the Games Workshop wiki, it's hosted on Fandom, so you'll know it. Don't trust a single word it says, because so many of the things are AI generated, and they're just wrong about stuff. A good example being that it claims on the page for Warhammer Fantasy Battles that it's a spin-off of 40k that came out 2 years before Warhammer Fantasy, even though Warhammer Fantasy came out in 1983 and 40k came out in 1987.
That's crazy.
Sorry. Did it say Warhammer Fantasy was a spin-off of 40k, which came out after?
Yeah, dude.
Oh
Yeah.
no, I've gone.
Even though it's like, well, one of them is called Warhammer, and the other one is called Warhammer with a suffix. Use your logic. Think about which one came out first.
Let's use our critical thinking to think about why that might be.
And it's full of stuff like that. And so as I said in my video where I talked about it, if you use AI to fill out a wiki, I will find you.
Yep. I'll
That
help.
is a threat.
And he will kill you.
Actionable threat here.
That is an actionable threat.
Yep.
He is Liam Neeson.
Yeah. And then someone will be like, well, I actually asked ChatGPT and they said that you've never made an actionable threat, and also you are an aeroplane on your father's side, so who's the idiot now? God, oh my God, okay, I know we're not supposed to just be shitting on AI, but I'm going to. I literally, there are people out there that I've seen do this, and I have friends who know of other people who have done these things, where they'll be like, oh, I really need, I need to know what... My dad said something to me that kind of rubbed me the wrong way, but I know it's not because he's being a dick or anything, but I don't know how to explain it because it's such an emotionally touchy subject, and they'll be like, I asked ChatGPT and you should do this. I will trample you to death with my hooves if you ever say that to me. How dare you? It's literally just ask the magic 8-ball, because then it's not I don't know, destroying the environment at the same time. That would be cool. But I have literally seen, I was looking for a makeup dupe, or something like that, where it was okay, can I get something that's similar to this but not as expensive? And literally the answer was, oh, I asked ChatGPT and it said this product, and everyone was like, oh, thank you, how good is that? Oh, wow. And I was like, I want to die. And I hate it.
Sorry, did you say hooves?
Yes, I have hooves, and I'm going to trample these people to death with them, yes. See, that makes it slightly less actionable, and then the more of the realms of a joke, so I can legally get away with it a little easier. Little unethical life pro tip for you there. At least that's what I'm telling myself. Lawyers, please interact. Let me know.
Please don't. I don't want to get in trouble for this.
Okay, interact with me. Leave Rem out of this. He's completely innocent.
Yes, send all your legal threats to... not me.
To anyone but me.
It's what's your name? Tactica Imperialis? Oh, poor thing.
dear. Okay, what about you then, Wib? Have you been reading anything other than...
I have been
1920s
reading
cowboy
bugger
fiction?
all. I must be honest. I must be honest. Not even cowboy fiction. I did buy myself.
I offered him, like, if he wanted to have, like, Love in the Saddle, but, like, you know, he just was not into it. And I was like, but it's okay, fine. It just wasn't cooperative, so...
No,
We need more 40k cowboy-themed stories.
Okay, like, you're saying that, but, like, fucking genuinely, please, dear God, I need more
do something from the
cowboys.
perspective of is it the Kellamorph, the gunslinger, Gene Stealer cults? Yeah, just base it around Kellamorph.
They are very cool.
Yeah.
But no, I need one of the Lost Foundings needs to be cowboy themed. Otherwise, I'll just die. I've been doing that a lot this episode, I noticed, of just saying, oh, this needs to be like this or I'll die. And I think I'm going to make some people very happy. So, you know, give you my cowboy.
I mean, you could get away with doing like a cowboy-themed Space Marine chapter, because you could have like their captain could be like High Marshal, you know, like with same with like Black Templars, you have marshals and High Marshals.
Oh,
You know, sergeants, well, you can call them like deputies or something, I don't know.
Oh.
Yeah, marshals and deputies.
And plus, it means you can model chaps onto the armor, like over it, like the ones that are wearing leather coats.
It. I know you're both messing with me, but I'm actually kind of like, oh shit, I want to do that. But that's going to be so much green stuffing serapes and I'd love it. Like, you know what I need? I need my world eaters need to be all like gunslingers, and just like on the little bunny ears, they have like a really askew cowboy hat. Oh shit, no,
Snipe,
I need.
I got an even better idea for you. Right. A Space Marine bike squad, but instead of bikes, they're riding the robo horses from the AdMech.
Remleiz, you're a menace! Yeah. Oh my god. No, I can't think about this. No, I'll do it. Oh my god.
Do it. Make a cowboy themed Space Marine chapter.
Yeah.
Oh god damn it.
You can call them like, I don't know, the Iron Stars or something, like, you know, or the Bronze Stars, like with like, you know, cowboy sheriff badges and that.
The Silver Spurs. They have to have spurs. Oh my god, it would be so cool.
To be fair, I am just looking at those the mechanicus horses that I always forget the bloody name of.
I'm going to call that Cerberus something or other. Cerberus Raiders.
But
it would be really, really cool to just have an army based around those and only those, to just have full cavalry AdMech. That just feel like that'd be very fun.
That's it. I'm gonna.
Do you know what's funny as well? On the Games Workshop website advertising these, they still use the old 40k logo.
Oh shit!
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So you're edition behind, at least. 2 editions, in fact.
Yeah, it was 9th they did the new
I
logo,
never do
wasn't it?
anything new. It's fine.
Which is
oh god, why am
off-center.
I really considering this? I'm so mad.
Are you looking at those horses?
I am.
Get the horse of Snipe. Make your cowboy Space Marines.
Mm-hmm. I'm just looking at the sprue to see how hard it would be to kind of... Because it does look like they are separate pieces.
The real trick is, of course, that the Marines on bikes
they're a different scale and like it's a different shape. So
yeah, they're like the Outriders. Is it what they call
Polaris
bikes?
ones.
The Polaris ones. Yeah.
Yeah.
Those they're like in a kind of chopper sort of pose.
That would not work on the Cerberus boys.
And to be fair, the old bikes were kind of the same as well. So like it's obviously with green stuff, all things are possible, but it would be a lot of work.
But also, I'm not very good with green stuff, so
You also have to keep your Space Marines ponchos as well.
I need to give them ponchos too, and like I want to give them like spurs and stuff, and like that'd be so cool.
Do you know how small a spur would be?
Yeah, too fucking small. But you know what, dude? I'm like, you know how cool that would be? I don't care. I'd inhale a spur.
What you could do as well, you could also make them like your headcanon version of the Imperial Stars, which is an actual Space Marine chapter, which has like absolutely no fiction.
Shit. Black Library, please interact.
Like they only appeared in one book, and that's an Insignium Astartes, just to show you a picture, and that's literally it. Like, their entire lore is, they are a Space Marine chapter.
And
that is it.
They're purple. I'm looking at that a bit more like of a plum. Like a burgundy.
Yeah.
Okay. So now, if I'm
plants.
thinking, put a cowboy hat on that, put some spurs on that, put a little serape, I reckon we got ourselves a bit of lore there. Let me just ask ChatGPT real quick. No, I'm joking. What did you just call me?
Hold on a second, Pilgrim.
I said you got yourselves a posse.
I know, I'm taking the piss. But no, I used to call people Pilgrim when I was like a teenager, and people were like, "Oh, like John Wayne," and I'm like, "No."
Who?
Who? You mean Genghis Khan? I don't think so. Oh Christ, that was so cool.
Did you have like a cowboy phase when you were a kid?
Dude, I am still in the cowboy phase. I ain't never left my cowboy phase.
Like, as in like you dress like one. You know, like how some kids have like a juggalo phase or whatever, like dressing up with the clown makeup. But like, do you have your cowboy phase? You go around with a cowboy hat and duster.
Who the fuck did you know who had a juggalo face?
I knew a couple of people who had juggalo faces at school.
Are you one of them? Because that would be cool. No. Could you be?
Okay,
I was never a fan of the ICP.
Yeah.
What I'll say is that there's two things here. One, the juggalo phase, way more common if you're from the Midwest in America.
I was going to say if you're from the Midlands.
I am actually kind of shocked to know that there is such a thing as an English juggalo. That is a bit upsetting to me. But also, I'm just going to say, Snipe, I've seen the pictures of your goth phase. You don't get to throw shade at juggalos.
Okay, listen. You fucking listen here, okay? They were tears, okay? And they were black metal as hell. And yes, it was cringe, but it wasn't juggalos.
So was it goth or were you trying to be black metal?
Well, the thing is, I was 14 and went to a cult school, so I had no fucking clue what was what. So that's my defense. So
it's kind of that sort of the IT crowd where they called Cradle of Filth a darkwave band. It's like, really?
Oh, Cradle of Filth! Oh my god. There was a guy at my school who was like super into them, and he thought he was Marilyn Manson. He was so cringe, like derogatory, because he was a dickhead about it as well. But yeah, oh my god,
like Marilyn Manson.
Yeah, I did. Oh, I saw like a fucking 16-year-old toddler the other day when I was leaving the gym who was wearing a Marilyn.
Toddler.
A literal 16-year-old toddler, Remleiz. And
16. I voice is 60. I was like, 60-year-old toddler.
Those do kind of exist as well, but I'm not getting into it. But yeah, and he was wearing like a Marilyn Manson hoodie, which I'm going to have an old person thing again. I saw a guy was walking into the gym today and his hair looked like an unflourished mushroom. That's his hair. It was like fully emo. And I'm like, I'm not going to shame this guy for liking what he likes. That's cool. But my biggest concern is, one, it was 24 degrees in that gym. And two, you're going to go work out. This must be a pull. The idea of all that hair in my face would freak me the hell out. And I was just wondering how they had the fortitude to just have that haircut when it was so damn warm. But yes, that's my question for the universe. Don't worry.
Okay.
Can I also have one complaint about the silver stars?
Go ahead.
Not a lick of silver on the fuckers.
It's because they're called the Imperial stars, not the Silver stars.
What? No. What did I just look at?
Yep.
No, they're silver stars.
Oh,
I'm looking at a different one, and yeah, the silver stars are an actual one who has even less information than the Imperial stars. Where am I? I'm on the Warhammer Wiki!
Yeah, that's probably why.
God damn it, they got me. Oh. See, listeners, this is a very, very important lesson. Did you see what just happened? It could happen to you. It happened to me, and it could happen to you, which is why you just ignore that shit.
Yep. Anyway, to answer your previous question, I have not been reading anything, mostly because I know the next thing that I really need to read is for a future video. I've got all of the recent, it's been over the last handful of years, Red Gobbo books to read.
Oh, yeah.
To go through for a video. But because I know I've got to go through them and make notes, I've been putting off reading them.
Fair enough.
That's fair.
Because I'm like, I can't just sit down and just casually read these. I've got to do it properly. Like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Put post-it notes up or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm still currently making my way through the Fulgrim novel. When when people say like a lot of people have compared it to the Angron novel in that Fulgrim is barely in it, but I will say this: he's in it a lot more than Angron was in his book. I'll say that now.
Oh.
Like Fulgrim was in his book more in just one chapter than Angron was in his entire book.
Oh.
Yeah.
I fell off the Horus Heresy series before the Primarch novels started coming out.
This isn't the Horus Heresy book. This is the new one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Fulgrim the
Fake
Perfect
fan.
Son. Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. I'm not going to go into detail yet because I haven't finished it yet, so I'll talk about it next episode, but I will say this. The amount of people turning around saying this teases Rogel Dawn's return, I'll say this. If you reach any further, you're going to pull a muscle.
Wow, I'm stealing that. That's great.
Because, like, I don't think it's a tease whatsoever. It's my interpretation of it is like the vision of Rogel Dawn is purely symbolic. Because remember what happened during the Siege of Terra? Rogel Dawn and Fulgrim threw down, didn't they? So I don't think it's any tease of Rogel Dawn coming back, personally.
Well, I mean, the thing
Symbolism
is, like,
is a thing, you know.
They set the precedent with Guilliman coming back, and then they followed it up.
But here's the thing, though. The Primarch they teased after Guilliman and Lion, the Primarch they've actually teased all the way back in 8th edition was Jagatai.
Okay.
Because in Ashes of Prospero, Niall Stormcaller had a vision of a sleeper entombed in rock, which was obviously Lionel Johnson, and a white giant in a chariot of lightning, which is clearly going to be Jagatai Khan.
Yeah.
You know, because he's a giant, he's got white armor, and his symbol is, a lightning bolt, so it makes more sense than it being Rogel Dawn.
I think, like, sometimes they do just... They say stuff like this and it's kind of just thrown it out to the universe, or it's not so much like it's gauging interest, but it is just like, oh, if we ever want to do this, we'll just lay the groundwork down here and, we'll...
What's that web series
we'll
all the kids like? TTS, they like Rogel Dawn, bring him back and give him the mutton chops. And make him a Centurion as well.
He does look better with the mutton chops, though. He really does.
He looks so good.
But yeah, I mean, it's like the whole, when there was the things that people interpreted as being allusions to the Raven Guard being Thousand Sons, like descendants.
I'm sorry, what? Raven Guard?
Sorry, Blood Ravens. Blood Ravens.
What?
Slip of the tongue. But because was it in A Thousand Sons that's done with? Like,
you're thinking of Blood Ravens.
Yeah, that's what I said. Yeah, I was saying Blood Ravens. Yeah.
Yeah, you said Raven Guard.
Yes, I know I did originally, and then I corrected myself. There's like 8 different words that are compiled in different ways to make different proper nouns. Leave me alone.
In fairness, it's not as bad as like having the Sides of the Emperor and the Emperor's Sides, which are 2 separate chapters. So
I did tell someone about that. I did tell someone about that the other day, and the sheer anguish in their voice when they learned that was slightly beautiful.
There's also the Angels of Fire and the Fire Angels as well.
Yeah.
When are we going to get the Angels of Darkness? To go with the Dark Angels.
I remember when you set things like this, it means that I remember there was a point. I don't know if this ever got 100% settled because I don't care. But people going like, there's the Raptor Legion in old canon, but then there's the Raptors. There must be a separate thing, and it's like, well, okay, they're the same thing. It's fine. Don't worry about it. They just gave them an identity later on, and now they're the sensible green ones. It's fine. They're not blue and yellow anymore. But they have a slightly different name. Yes, the Ultramarines at one point. Yeah, loads of them have had like names that are subtly different.
The White Scars didn't even have a space in their name. It was just the White Scars.
Yeah, loads of them have. Like, I think the Ultramarines have the interesting distinction of being ones that I think they were one word. They were Ultramarines as one word, and then
the Ultramarines.
Then they were Ultra Marines 2 words, and then they went back to 1 word, whereas there's quite a lot of them that were just 1 word. So like the White Scars were just White Scars. Space Wolves were Space Wolves.
Wolves.
The wolves from space.
Yeah.
That's actually a separate chapter, Remleiz.
The hands of iron.
And then, they just, rather than do the sensible thing of at some point someone at GW goes, oh, wait, we've got Sides of the Emperor and Emperor's Sides. Those should just be the same chapter, shouldn't they? They should just be the same chapter. We'll do some retconning with it. It's fine. But instead, it's like, no, they are separate things. Like, okay. Which I guess you can say is like some kind of statement about the absurdity of like imperial bureaucracy and things.
Absolutely.
And you could have like the Emperor's Sides get like a delivery of like 20 rhinos, and they're like, we didn't ask for these, and it's like, oh no, those were for the size of the Emperor, you know. Like, well, no, we're the Emperor's Sides. Like,
We didn't ask for this. Shh. Free rhino.
I mean, we'll take it, but you know,
Free hat. Free hat.
Yeah.
Free hat.
Yeah, they killed all of those chaos babies in self-defense, so, you know.
I'm glad you got that reference.
Yeah, of course I got it.
Well, given the time, we shall move on to the questions now. So, let's just go with question 1. What's the deal with Cadian showing up in every Black Library book? Even ones with other Guard regiments as a focus, there's always a Cadian point of view.
Because they're really cool, and Predator was an incredible movie.
you're thinking of Catachans.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, you are.
Sorry, I'm
Cadians are the
I've been-
bog standards, generic looking,
Yeah.
space.
It's
army
because
man.
Colonial Marines was really cool, and Aliens was awesome.
There you go.
Give me a break. I've
yeah,
been up for like 12 hours and I've been working out in 25-degree heat. I should literally be legally dead.
I'm
by
sorry,
now.
only 12 hours, Snipe. Oh, God.
I mean, 12 hours
be
today. What? I have no idea what the fuck that means. Don't be mean to me, I'll cry, is what I'm saying, please.
I've been up since 4.
Yeah.
What month?
I mean,
Because I know you don't sleep, you little shit.
Can't sleep, clowns will eat me.
Wait, no, you were posting. You were posting around 4, weren't you, little shit? I remember that. Because I woke up, looked at my phone, and then went back to sleep until like 6. So.
I was going to say, I think the Cadian thing is just that because they are sort of the default in terms of like miniatures and like cover art. They're the Ultramarine. The Cadians are the Ultramarines of the Imperial Guard.
Yeah.
That's
so
probably the best
sort
analogy
of,
to use, in fairness.
Yeah.
so they're sort of they become a default point of view character because they're the sort of standard sort of what's the word like culture for an Imperial army. So you can use them as a perspective to show other like perspectives. Would be my assumption as to why they use them so much.
Plus, unlike most Guard regiments, you can actually still buy their models.
This is true.
Because I think the only ones you can buy are Cadians, Death Corps, and Catachan, and that's it.
Yeah. And only 2 of them look good.
They have purple eyes.
Bring me back my Talon
That's
Desert
Cadians
Raiders.
again.
I know, that was deliberate that time. Shut up.
Okay.
Bring back my Praetorians.
Oh, they were so cool, because Predator's such a good movie.
Stop it.
No. It's
No,
me.
but Zulu
I'm
was
just
a good
like
movie, though.
I'm channeling the 40k fandom wiki.
I would say
Did you know
Zulu was a
that-
good movie, though. That was really good, that movie.
Zulu?
Yeah.
I've never seen that.
That's what the Praetorians are heavily based on.
I've never seen it.
They're colonial British troops.
Yeah, Battle of Big Tooth River and the Last Stand at Glazer's Farm. That was basically based on Rorke's Drift.
Oh shit! Okay.
And the miniatures were just modified Mordian Guard because they've got they
Yeah, it was
changed
just
the
more
heads
some
out.
new heads, yeah.
Oh. I'm getting learned.
You are getting land.
And
Yeah.
I don't, and then we don't talk about the implications of taking a real world thing and the perspectives of that, and then making one of those factions the brutish orcs. We don't talk about it, and I believe is one of the reasons we don't see Praetorians around very often anymore.
It was a different time.
I actually remember going to see that Games Day actually had the Battle of Big Tooth River on display. That was awesome, that display.
Because wasn't that diorama because that was made before the miniatures were made, and that was the reason why they made them, because they were all like made specifically for that. And then they were like, oh, actually, people like these.
I know I had like the scratch-built Gargan now, something like 3 feet tall.
Yeah, there was loads of like really ridiculous like scratch-built stuff on that diorama. It was massive.
It was, yeah. And let's see if I can actually find a screenshot of like some of the diorama, because I know they also include like a lot of Talon minis in that as well. But oh yeah, because they had like this massive Orc fortress as well back when like using the old 2nd edition Orc minis as well.
Where they had the nice big Adobe style buildings and things.
Yeah.
Speaking of Adobe, I got a suggestion. I've been playing Blood West. That game is amazing. Okay, that's enough. Thank you. Thanks for listening.
That's all you wanted to say.
Yeah, it's fucking great. I love
don't know
it.
what Blood West is.
It's basically first person Dark Souls-y Cthulhu cowboy stuff. It's cool. I like it.
Mildly eldritch.
It's pretty
Cthulhu
good, yeah.
Cowboys.
Yeehaw.
This actually reminds me, I keep meaning to actually have a shot at scratch building some of the Orc Adobe style buildings. Because I've been messing around like doing some older style terrain. Like I've made like a crater and I've made like a proper base for my old 3rd edition trees and stuff. So I'm like, I should have a shot at building one of those old Orc buildings. They're quite fun.
I reckon you should. You do good.
Right. Next question. Have we thought about updating the art to include an indentation on the table from Tack's repeated head desks?
That's
If
a lot of
Sleepy's willing to do
future-proofing
it.
involved.
That too, yeah.
I also do think there should be a ding. There should be a
Little
counter.
counter. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah.
That would work. That's a good
Okay.
suggestion.
If Traitor Guard could get new or modified weapons, skills, buffs, traits, and whatnot, depending on which Chaos Gods they serve, how would you go about it? Well, you two know a bit
Cowboys?
more about tabletop than I do. Cowbells.
Cowboys.
I've always said cowbells. It's like going to get cowbells.
You know what? Yeah, cowbells as well. Cowbells can be the Slaneshi version, whereas the Khorne ones are cowboys.
Okay. I mean, it's one of those ones where, you know, it depends how heavily integrated you want to do it. Because it can just be something as simple as, the Khorne ones get +1 attack, or, you know, the Nurgle ones
That'd be
get
a nice
+1
little kind of
toughness.
like bit of crunch.
You can do something as simple as that, or you can get really, really granular and have... Because I know... Because there's a lot with regular... guard in 10th. There's a lot of this offers a buff that buffs this thing, which then can do this, which can offer a buff to do this thing, can do, and there's a lot of synergies between stuff, and so you could do some heavy leaning into that of you know, I don't know, like Slaneshi stuff, like if you've got you know your commanders or whatever nearby, it inspires perfection in them, so everyone gains like +1 to their hit rolls, whatever. You know, you can do a lot of, you know, that kind of stuff. And yeah, I think it's one that you could go really deep with, but also it can get kind of fiddly, especially when the guard natively already have a lot of that going on. So
Yeah, fair enough, yeah. And the last one we'll go for is, what art pieces would you choose if you were given the choice to make into a celebration model?
ooh,
Because obviously you had that Chaos Terminator as one of the Warhammer Plus subscription minis, didn't you? So
yeah, and they've done. I mean, hell, they've done quite a few where they've gone back to some of the old stuff. I mean, like the Mephiston mini, thingy. Helbrecht, where they've gone back to like old art and like gone, we'll recreate that. On some, I mean, obviously I'm very biased, but I'd quite like to see them tackle some of the old goofier artwork. Like obviously I'd like, you know, some of like the Rogue Trader Beaky artwork would be fun. Like the let me just quickly check. It's compilation because compendium, because there's the compendium and the compilation, and I always forget which is which. but the compendium art has got like the ultras like coming through the door. I think you could do something fun with that. As having like a handful of Marines sort of going over each, and obviously you make them a little bit more naturalistically posed because it's a little bit awkward. Or alternately, the obvious answer is that one picture of the apothecary at the time, a medic putting some gene seed into a little container, but it looks like
it looks like he's dipping a biscuit in a cup of tea. Yeah. That'll be that. Yes, we need it, and it needs to fuck off with the gene seed. So it needs to be a biscuit and a cup of tea because he's a pissed off like apothecary. That would be so cool.
Actually, another one would be the artwork of what was it from the 8th edition special edition Sisters Codex, where she's like kneeling down.
Yeah,
and
that's
praying.
a really poignant piece. I'm gonna say.
I think you could do something good with that.
I'm gonna say maybe. Hang on, I'm trying to post a picture. I'm thinking the 3rd edition Space Wolf Codex, with the Space Wolf just like launching himself in the air and shooting the orc.
Oh yeah, the one where he's just screaming like, "Arr!"
Yeah, he's just like, "Arr!" And he's got like a cut on his forehead. It just looks real cool. I just think that was.
Oh yeah.
That's just such a classic image, and it looks so good. And like the action pose is awesome. So yeah, I think that one would be pretty good.
Yeah.
See, I'd go something completely different.
Oh yeah?
I'd go for the Nid Warrior from the Epic Hive War expansion. You know, the old classic Dino Nid.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh, where he's a thick boy.
Yeah, because like they redid like the Screamer Killer as like a modern mini, didn't they? So they could redo this as like, you know, a new type of warrior, or even make it a new bioform entirely, kind of thing.
Yeah, you could totally do that.
You could even make it like a new form of like, say, like the Demacaron or something. I don't know, but I just love that
cool.
picture. So
It's so
Yeah, no,
goofy and so of the time. It's perfect.
it's so goofy yet also badass. You know, somewhat
It's got that old like gaming, like the like wargaming kind of like goofy, awesome kind of like vibe down perfect.
almost pulp sci-fi
I mean, that's
in a way.
I do feel that's like the big definition of like old 40k is very much, it's very goofy,
Complimentary,
unmistakably badass.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And I think it managed to tread that line pretty well.
Oh yeah, I mean, alternatively, just redo the old 2nd edition Hive Tyrant art from the Codex.
Yeah. That
one's so cool.
That's because that was used on the Codex cover as well. So
Yeah, it was, yeah.
yeah.
And also, can I just say, I miss when Nids were this colourful.
They were so bright and pretty.
I don't know if I've seen anyone do it, but I would love to see like the modern minis painted in that same kind of style with the reds and purples and
The yellow plating.
Like, little splashes of green and all stuff like that. Yeah, it's a really cool look.
It's so beautifully nostalgic as well.
Fun enough, someone actually took the new Screamer Killer model and actually painted it in the 2nd edition colour scheme, and it actually looks really good.
Ooh,
that looks amazing. Oh wow, that's so cool.
Also, did they actually change the reason why it's called the Screamer Killer?
I don't know.
I don't know. I didn't really catch up on what they changed when the new mini came out.
Because in 2nd edition, the reason why it was called the Screamer Killer is because when it's charging up for a bioplasma shot, it basically creates like a high-pitched scream in its throat as it's charging up the plasma, and that's why it's called a Screamer Killer. Though it didn't actually just spit the plasma out, it basically like vomit it onto its claws and then use its claws to throw it.
Well,
It's like Hadouken!
Very normal.
I mean, it was the 90s.
yeah,
Street Fighter was really popular back in the day, you know, so...
yeah.
I mean, it was like the biggest thing back in like in the early 90s, Street Fighter. It
I
really
completely
was.
missed out on Street Fighter in its entirety, and Mortal Kombat as
Poor
well.
thing.
And I was a Tekken loser. So I appreciate I have no grounds for anyone to ever respect my decisions or thoughts about fighting games, so... Ooh, a glowy thing in the mouth. That's cool. That sounds awful. Why did I say that? Screamer killer, but someone's put an LED in the mouth, so it looks like it's like going with the the gob juice. Yep, that's what I said.
Yep.
Right, and that will probably do for the questions given the time. So, unless there's anything else to briefly mention. Aside from the fact that, in regards to the Carnifex designs, what one's your favourite while we're talking about Carnifexes? Is it the classic, the 3rd edition, the 4th edition, or the 10th edition?
I'll be honest. I don't like the. I'm not actually a huge fan, in all honesty, of the Leviathan Screamer Killer.
The 10th edition one.
Like it's an interesting update, but I do kind of prefer the original goofy one, and the I think I do the one I like the look of the best is the plastic multi-part Carnifex kit, but it's also one of the worst kits I have ever put together in my life. So
yeah, because I was trying to put it together. And I'm nowhere near as dexterous or as good at putting shit together as Wib. But I was putting my Carnifex together, and I was like, I took it to Wib because I was convinced that I was being an idiot and did something wrong. So I handed it to him. I was like, I have fucked this up somehow. Can you please salvage it? And then he comes to me 10 minutes later going, you didn't fuck anything up. The kit sucks. Beautiful model. Love it. But oh my god, that kit is awful. It's awful.
Look on the bright side. Look on the bright side. At least you weren't trying to make a Stone Crusher Carnifex, using the Forge World components as well.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ. No.
I mean, actually, no, that might actually work out all right, because the problem is that the
back plates, the chitin just did not fit together at all properly. There was this huge gap no matter what you did.
It's the whole torso. If I remember correctly, it's made of 3 main parts. And the 3 of them don't really fit together very well, so you are going to be left with gaps at some point around it, and you just have to pick your poison where you want them to be.
Yeah.
Maybe it's like a bit of mold degradation or something over time. But yeah. Oh, actually, I thought the entire backplate of that Forge World one was replaced, but no, it's still there. So yeah, no, it'd still be a nightmare. Okay, yeah, okay.
You just have to deal with warped resin instead.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got to go.
Well, I mean, I've put.
Yeah, I got to go for the plastic Carnifexes too, because I remember. Oh, I can't remember what edition I played it, but it was a real fun one to play, and it just looks beautiful. I love it. It's good. I mean, I do love the old goofy one, which looks like it's from Doom. Complimentary.
Actually, you're right. It does
it's the
have
face
real big
around
Doom
around
monster
the face.
energy.
It looks like a cyber demon a little bit. The
like
metal
Pinky.
Carnifex. Yeah, but actually, yeah, no, Pinky too. But yeah, the metal Carnifex
Pinky's
looks
crossroads
like Garrett
demon.
from Thief if he mutated, and the Screamer Killer. It looks really cool, but I'm not saying it. It just no. It's really cool, but it shouldn't be in the same kind of classification.
The 3rd edition one is just basically Rex from Mass Effect. He got infected by the Reapers.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah, and that's awesome. Oh, I love Rex. He was so cool.
Which one's your favourite, Ren?
Yeah, Rem. It's the first one, isn't it?
Visually, I like the 4th edition one, the plastic one, because it just looks more bulkier and imposing. Because Carnifex is supposed to be like a living battering ram, essentially.
Yeah, exactly.
And this one just looks more beefy and tanky. It actually looks like a tank, essentially. If a tank was a dinosaur.
I also kind of like the spidery kind of arms that are kind of referenced in that one from the original. It just looked like it's gonna grab you and give you a big cuddle and eat you.
Here's the interesting one though.
Which one would you kiss?
Do people? Well, yeah, but do people prefer the old school zoanthropes that had legs?
Oh, with a giant head.
No.
Yeah.
Zoanthropes' legs can't hurt you. They're not real. Wib. Guess what?
Because the old Zoanthropes were so different to the modern ones.
They were so goofy looking.
They
I
were
will send
silly
a picture
little
to everybody.
guys. Just silly little. They were literally they went. The Yautja head from the Predators is really cool. What if we gave it feet? And that's what it is.
And I do have a little bit of soft spot for the, I think it was 3rd edition ones that, because Zoanthropes are supposed to be made out of, Eldar biomass. Just chewed up and regurgitated Eldar. And so they've got a bit of the Eldarish sort of helmet shape.
Because, their helmets are,
They have genetic helmets.
Genetic helmets. Like if I wear a hat, that's my genes now. I'm wearing them wrong.
But yeah, it kind of has that on the back of the back of its headpiece, which I think is a kind of a neat thing, and that's obviously gone away over time, which is fine. Like it didn't really make much sense, but I do think it's quite it's just a cute little addition.
Absolutely. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, we shall call it there. So, thank you very much to everyone who tuned in for this episode. We hope you enjoyed it. And thank you very much to Snipe Wib for joining me this episode.
Thank you for having us. It's awesome to hang out as usual.
Yeah.
You're welcome. So, until next time, everyone, this has been Remleiz from 40k Theories.
This has been Snipe from Snipe and Wib.
This has been Wib from Snipe and Wib.
And we'll see you all again next time. Bye-bye.